sleep, so I'm always on shift. Nothing in the summer, Moji say I got gift. When she see me walking with a ring up on my wrist, shawty gotta go, I call an Uber or a Lyft. Oh, think fast like Rondo. How long she gon' pull up to the condo?
So Mossberg very kindly sent us this 930S model, and my experience with shotguns begins and ends at shooting doors off hinges and harvesting turkeys. So I needed someone who knew what they were doing, so I called my friend Stanley here. Stanley, so you are an instructor, but why were you my first choice for a shotgun training course to get me from like 0 to adequate?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of background in military and law enforcement, so have had some law enforcement courses under my belt for shotgun, and then I've got some experience in instructing, different practical courses, pistol, shotgun, carbine, and so thank you for trusting me to come out and run the course with me.
Now the 590S that Mossberg sent us has a 20-inch barrel, a 41-inch overall length, a weight of 7 1/4 pounds. It can handle 3, 2 3/4, and 1 3/4 inch shells. It's cut for the RMSC Optic, and most metal of all, it can accept a bayonet.
Go ahead and fire. Now run that slide, so we'll get in the practice that every time you fire, just immediately run that slide. If it's empty, I want you to go ahead and just practice like a reload, like a tack reload or a slide lock reload. There you go, reload.
So the qualification we started with this morning was the FBI qual for a shotgun, right? And I had never loaded a shotgun under duress my entire life. Even when I was learning to do door breaching, it was always like, okay, you're just going to load the tube and you're going to keep the chamber empty so that when you get up there, all you have to do is rack it. Or if we needed to be have sound discipline, then we'd rack it and keep the safe on. But so I thought I was going to be doing a lot of really high speed, like super cool guy, violin loading, where I'm just coming over and I'm just shucking shells in. And I tried that once and hated it. And the technique you showed me, where I was coming around, tossing it in, and then running the slide forward.
Yeah.
Like I did that for the rest of the day.
Yeah. One in the tube, fire, and then reload at the end, so we don't end on an empty gun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just come up, load. One there. And then we're good.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Stand by. Yeah, you got it, you got it. Good. Got 6.9.
.80 for the course of fire.
The push-pull method, like, so we didn't really touch on that. So with shotguns, I was always taught that, like, you just bring it in tight and everything's pulling it back into you.
Yeah.
And you told me to, when I throw it up there, like, still let your dominant hand pull it into you, and then you're pushing forward with your support hand. And hopefully the video shows how much flatter that was, because I was definitely getting that roll effect each time I would cork one off.
Yeah.
But with the push-pull, which is something I've only heard of using on MP5s with the compression sling. That's the only time I've ever actually done it, was the one time I shot an MP5K. But that really made rapid fire a lot easier and even less brutal on me.
So you can feel the difference of trying to stretch that gun out and then see if you settle down and your shots are faster.
Okay. Okay. So.
Yep. It looks like it's holding pretty flat. Did it feel good, recoil management?
Recoil's not bad. Now, some of the techniques I was exposed to had never been shown to me for the use of a shotgun at all. One of which was the stretching of the gun, or putting pressure forward, pushing away from yourself on the front end while you're pulling the rearward side back into you. And this really helped me mitigate recoil and keep from rolling the gun every time I used it.
Now run that. There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Reload.
Well, I thought I was going to be having the shotgun up on my shoulder and violin loading like a cool guy. But what I really found most useful was opening the action, getting a shell out of my fanny pack there, slapping it in there, and just running the slide home. By the time that I got done doing this in the day, I felt incredibly confident doing that after never doing it in my life.
Start back here. We got our threat. We're up here. Good. Yep. Nice.
Having a dedicated optics cut in the receiver is brilliant. It keeps the red dot low enough that when you mount the shotgun, the dot is presented right there when you can keep a very good cheek weld, unlike some other systems where with the dot on top of a rail, you're getting more of a chin weld, making it more difficult to ride out that recoil and maintain good control over the system. Now, you've seen the Vortex Defender on this show before, and I used it this time in the rain, and I was really worried that every time I presented it, I would just have a puddle of water waiting for me. And I don't know if they coat it with a hydrophobic substance or something, but I never had a problem where there was just a ball of water obscuring the dot at all throughout the whole day. And it took every bit of the recoil almost better than I did. So we got to do a lot of night shooting, low light shooting today, and we used the Nightstick shotgun fore-end light, and this one actually does have a laser on there. I didn't use it at all today because we were using a red dot, so it felt a little bit redundant.
Yep.
In my entire life, I've been taught that like light discipline is king, and lasers work both ways.
Yep.
So, but after working with this light, do you think it had a pretty good like light cast, good candela, like?
Yeah, it threw a nice clear beam. There was no hot spots or washed out spots like you see with some other flashlights where you can kind of get some shadows and some weird artifacting. So it was nice there. A good momentary on and off switch, which is important for night shooting, so that you know, you're not attracting bullets to yourself by being illuminated. So that was nice to see that. But I think it was great. It wasn't overly powerful where you got some splashback and blind yourself. But even out at 25 yards, it could illuminate the range and you could see your targets.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Now moving on to the front end, Nightstick was cool enough to send us one of their SFL11 GL light laser combos for the front end there. While I didn't use the laser because the concept of light discipline and lasers working both ways has been burned into my psyche, the light worked great. There's a good positive momentary on-off, and you can also toggle it for continuous on and off. At first I thought I would really like the strap on there, but once I got to doing manipulations where I was moving fast, I found myself fumbling to get in there. And once this got soaked with rain, that nylon was a little bit slick, so I ended up taking it off of there. And well, let's just be honest, a bayonet lug on there is just an absolute flex. Now, while running over 400 rounds of slug and buckshot in a day was not even remotely comfortable for me, the Mossberg took it in stride. And that was even while we were braving cold rain and mud. I only had one issue arise with it the entire day, and that was some stuck cases, which was not surprising when I would open the action and basically just see a puddle there from the rain. Now, one time I was able to clear it with just a good sharp mortar clear. While I don't know if Mossberg would suggest that as a clearing method, it worked just fine. And the other time I did have to put some more effort into getting the shell out. But other than that, it didn't have a single hiccup.
Stay in the fight. Nice. Good job.
Now, the real main event with the 590S is the ability to use these little 1 3/4 inch shorty shot shells without doing any modifications to the system whatsoever, while it will still accept the 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. You can stuff 14 of these little guys. 14 in here. Now, the downside is that loading these is a little bit more fumbly and not quite as fast as loading the 2 3/4 inch or the full 3-inch shells in there, but 14.
How's your shoulder feeling?
I popped a couple of ibuprofen when we break for lunch. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I'm definitely realizing that it's getting a little froze up right now. So tomorrow's gonna be great. It's just gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, so since tomorrow I'm calling my chiropractor, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can visit our website at plctrainingco.com, or you can give me a call at 970-201-5811 and schedule a course or private lesson, and we'll hook you up.
Okay, and so you did a shotgun course today, of course, but what other courses do you have?
Yeah, so we do a carbine course, and then we have a couple pistol courses. So we have the concealed weapons course, which is like a hybrid format, so students can, when they purchase the course, they get instant access to all the online course content, which includes the Stop the Bleed course, where we talk about how to stop bleeding using tourniquets, compression, and wound pack.
Taking the course with Stanley gave me a whole new appreciation of the shotgun as a defensive weapon. And for years I was hung up on the limited round count, the difficulty with recoil, and the bulk of the ammo. His class showed me that you can manage all of those things quite easily with a little bit of work and someone showing you how to do it. And yeah, there may be a chance this becomes my new bedside system, chock just full of these little dudes, with a shotgun card with 2 3/4 inch shells on the side, because I did find those easier to manage under duress, while these were a little fumbly. And then of course the fanny pack just chock full of slugs for the drip.
All right, nice.
I'm Chris with jerry'soutdoorsports.com, and if you want to get set up with a system like this, you can visit our website or come see us in the store. And if you want to get into one of Stanley's classes, we can help with that too. See you next time.
Because you don't want those. Looking back, started looking at the profit. You was making moves behind my back, but I was watching. Now you wasn't stalking. Now you always calling.
That's okay.
I'm slack, I've been tighten up the nonsense. Clean on me, you would think I play for Boston. Put us to the scene with a top when we lost it. She was in the jeans, so I be moving cautious. Now I'm getting money, but ain't looking too obnoxious. Big money, I'm just waiting on the call. Say you with me, you just wishing that fall. Stay down, cause you know I do it all. Put the money in the safe for I may spend it all on my bitch. Put the money in the safe till I'm rich. Got a real star, she don't switch. Me and Solid go rolling.
Here we go.
Walking with a drip, don't slip. Me and Solid go rolling on TikTok. Plug in me with 4 in a Ziploc. When I go beast mode, she get pissed